Yo, peace. It's your man, Honorable October 9, and this is the Art of Thinking Out Loud, Common Sense Analytics. Today, we're going to do a little talk about Hollywood. Not just Hollywood in the sense of movies, actors, television specials. No, we're going to talk about Hollywood's pervasive control over media and everything that you see. I don't think most people understand that Hollywood isn't just an entertainment mecca. Hollywood is actually a social, like, psyop mecca. Hollywood is where they basically put together all of the situations that govern how we think every day in society, from the movies to the television specials to even to commercials and newscasts. It's all entertainment. Everybody is an actor. Even newscasters are actors. That's why you'll see, if you go on Twitter and you look at most of the newscasters in your city, look at the ones in the city that you're in. A lot of them will have Emmy nominated. And you're wondering, like, why would you give a newscaster an Emmy? That's because they're actors. They read off a script. They're talking heads. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get a little deeper into this video by my man, Jay Marvelous. Jay Marvelous does excellent work. Go to his channel. Check him out. Man, shout out to my man, Jay Marvelous. But we're going to check out this video. It's about Hollywood, and the first part of the video, it deals with the casting couches. Then we're going to move into the secret sex parties and how they pay actresses anywhere from $5 to like $40,000, $50,000. These aren't regular girls. These are your actresses that you see in movies. They pay them to basically hang out at these parties and have sex and perform rituals. But yo, I ain't gonna talk your head off too much.
Anybody who's anybody relocates to southern France for the Cannes International Film Festival. But when the festival is in town, Cannes all becomes a hotspot for people selling something other than movies.
As business becomes more global, one of those businesses that's going global is prostitution. And Cannes provides the very, very best. Yachts offshore, 200, 300-foot yachts. Each one, minimum of 20 women. Each one of those women getting paid anywhere between $5,000 and $40,000 a night. Now, if you're an actress and you made $40,000 the year before, but 3 years earlier you made $2 million, you probably still have a $2 million lifestyle. You also probably have a face that people recognize. Maybe times are tough. Maybe you go to Cannes. They're not giving $40,000 a night to somebody that came off the streets of Nice. They're giving $40,000 a night to somebody they saw on a movie screen.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Of course, while some Hollywood hotshots choose to keep their illicit liaisons private, others satisfy their carnal appetites by attending underground orgies that cater to everything from swinging to sex slaves. But even here, at clubs like Sanctum, you have to be a part of the secret VIP society to gain entrance.
You can't just buy a ticket.
Now, I want you to think about something. What we just watched them tell you about how everything I just explained before the video started, how a lot of times you'll see, well, you won't see, but a lot of times these actresses, and I'm not going to say they're like lower level actresses. No, these are just actresses that are in like everything. Like from television specials to whatever hit movie is out. These actresses, like I said, are worth millions of dollars. But you can go to a party and make $40,000-$50,000 a night. And you ain't just sitting around here. They just gonna pay you $50,000 for a walkthrough, like you some type of rapper, like, or something, like they just gonna pay you to walk through the party if you there. And you know what I'm talking about when I say put it. We're gonna jump back into things.
Like going to Burning, they will decide who's allowed to come to their party. The ticket price does weed out anyone who may not be appropriate for the party.
I believe that Sanctum is the most secret society. It's so different from a party or a club. It's definitely a taboo. If you want to have sex in any room, you may, because that's what it is. It's really an exciting and different feeling, because you even get to smell the sex in the air, opposed to just sitting at home and watching porn.
Their dominatrixes are legally, beating the hell out of these entertainment executives and/or actors and even actresses, who are into that sort of things. I know a lot of dominatrix who are making enviable amounts of money doing it.
There's definitely been simulated, shows going on. I once saw one where Marie Antoinette herself was there, and she and her pony were having a great time together, and I thought, now that's a party.
And 3 years later, I was at the Cannes Film Festival, and we bumped into this drunk producer, a British producer, who said, who mentioned the director that I had this audition with, and he looked very sheepish.
Check this out.
My husband grabbed him later and said, why did you start to say something and then didn't? And it turned out that the director who went on to make the film and who I was auditioning for used to show that video late at night to interested parties at his house. A video of me touching myself with a camera.
Like I said, it's a PSYOP organization. And you have rich bankers, billionaire bankers, who fund this PSYOP organization. And this PSYOP organization controls sociology. It basically controls how we act on a social level, how we correspond every day, how we think, what we believe in, how we move about in society, what we do, trends, styles, and most of them are linked to things that we wouldn't normally do if we knew the connotations of them. But
Warner Brothers, Fox, every last one of these owners. Okay, now mind you, the original owner of Universal Pictures, okay, Carl Laemmle, was basically died, okay, and he didn't want any parts of what was going on. Okay, so I truly believe that they took him out of there. Okay, he was on a mission to help a lot of people, okay, during World War I, all right, when there was the...
pay attention, a lot of things came about during
Nazi
World War I.
Okay, so in order for these things to take place, okay, he basically was for his people, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't want that, all right? They wanted it to be direct. In 1939, you know, they had brought in a lot of new individuals, okay? So let's take a look at Hollywood's very first satanic ritual, if you ask me. Now, there's a woman by the name of Peg Entwistle, okay, who died in 1835.
Pay attention.
Okay,
she's the woman that haunts the Hollywood sign.
The Hollywood sign, okay. The name was Peg Entwistle, and she died in 1935. Now, I found something very ironic about this situation here that kind of threw me off for a spin, okay. Now, as we all know, she had jumped off of the ledge, Okay, she jumped off the letter H on the Hollywood sign.
Pay
Okay?
attention. H is a very significant letter.
Had left a suicide note, okay, that I'm not gonna go into reading, all right, but the actual only thing she performed in, all right, was a movie titled
The
13
letter
Women.
H is
All right,
actually
which
two
was the
pillars
only
connected, like the
movie
Twin
that she
Towers. I
actually
need y'all to
starred
pay
in.
attention.
All right, now I found something very ironic about this plot here, and this is why I say a lot of these things.
13 women. Pay
Who were
attention.
sorority sisters. See that? Sorority sisters there at the All Girls College St. Albans. All right to a clairvoyant Swami, who by mail sends each a horoscope foreseeing swift doom. Okay? However, the clairvoyant is under the sway of Ursula Georgi, a half Javanese Eurasian woman with heritage. Ooh. She now seeks revenge by manipulating the women into killing themselves or each other. Find ironic. She also goes the clairvoyant into killing himself into the path of a subway train. Okay, so like I said, the lady Peg and Twistle here, who actually killed herself by jumping off the Hollywood sign, this was the only movie that she actually starred in. Okay.
Hollywood is like a school.
So fast forward,
You have to pay attention.
to 1947, as the CIA, okay, actually got involved with Hollywood, okay, by introducing
CIA runs
Operation
Hollywood.
Mockingbird. Okay, now some may call it clear indication that the
Facts.
ones who control, they are the ones that control everything. Okay, so in 1947, when they introduced Operation Mockingbird, all right, they had a lot of connections, okay, to say as Anton LaVey, okay, Alistair Crowley,
Anton LaVey, founder of the Satanic Church. That's the man alive.
Sammy Davis. Sammy told me he worshiped the devil. Sammy was like, Satan is as powerful as God. And I was like, what the fuck are you about? He says, why do you think there's so much anger in the world and killing and murder? Satan.
Pay attention. Sammy knew the truth. Listen.
And he was like, the Dantan is this dark, the candles on the table, and Sammy's face over the candle. Satan is as powerful as God.
Not the three people that I just named were all a part, okay, of the
Sammy
CIA.
was standing right in between two top Satanists. Pay attention.
Alistair Crowley was a part of the CIA as well. Okay, he was a part of the CIA as well. You don't believe me? I'll read a scribe from it here. So it says, was Alice a agent? All right, a CV for Alistair Crowley, who dubbed himself the Great Beast, 666. However, there's another
called himself the wickedest man alive.
Yep. Sovereign obscured by the powers that be, and the man himself, Alistair Crowley, spy. All right, in his 1929 book, Confessions of Elsewhere, Crowley made vague references to his intelligence work, notably in 1914 to 1919, mission in the USA. There, he claimed his public role dismissed as saving fantasies, but they really the bare tip of the iceberg of the secret life of the wickedest man in the world. So he basically was one of these CIA agents, right?
But let me take things just a little bit farther as far as the CIA and Aleister Crowley, Anton LaVey. The CIA has an office in Hollywood. Every movie that you see put out, every has to be approved through this office. And you need to ask yourself why. Why is it that they have to approve movies to be disseminated to the public? That's because they have to control what you see, hear, know, perceive. They have to control your perception. The greatest way to control people's perception is to control art, because art is the only language that speaks to everybody at the same level. And when I say at the same level, meaning you could be a layman, and if somebody presents something, a movie, television program, whatever, they give us these things through entertainment, this programming. What this programming is designed to do, it's designed to get into your operating system. This is why I created computers. We created smartphones, for we know how operating systems work, because everything is derived off of the mind. So, getting back to what I was saying, tying all of this in together, your basic operating system is what you believe, how you perceive, and how you, your perception of things forms your beliefs, then forms how you move. So when you're looking at television programs, and you're looking at the news, and you're looking at your favorite entertainers, rappers, singers, athletes, whatever, none of this is by happenstance. Meaning, even when you're watching like professional sports, why and how do athletes wind up in Hollywood making movies and everything? If you notice, Hollywood winds up being everything goes back to. It's like Hollywood is like a graduating source. Like you're trying to graduate through whatever you're doing, sports, music, movies, whatever. Your main goal, if you're doing it independent Hollywood, if you're doing it out of Hollywood already, your main goal then is to try to get through Hollywood and to go up, make it to the bigger presentations. You want to go from being like Robert Town with his Hollywood Shuffle. You want to be able to move from that level where he had to make that movie with like that he gave a lot of money to make the movie. The movie wound up hitting, took him up levels in Hollywood. And to Robert Townsend, I'm just using him as an example. I can also say social media influence. It'll come directly off the internet, from their home, from their area. They'll gather a big influence, and then they'll wind up on some commercial. They'll be in a Super Bowl commercial. They'll be in something. They've moved up levels, and then you'll see them in television programs, and they'll move from being a social media influencer in their home to being an actual Hollywood actor. They'll even get a SAG card. I'm trying to tell y'all what this is all about. Everything you see on television, on the internet, hear on the radio, watch through sports, everything is derived, and is derived from Hollywood influence, because everything is supposed to draw you back to Hollywood. Merlin, the magic is just simply being able to manipulate one's perception. Sleight of hand, as they call it. You know, you have to always look at things deeper than what you're seeing put just flat out. You can't have a linear view. You can't just look at shit for just what it is. You have to always look at the symbolism. Why is this person posed like this? Why is this person wearing in certain things? Why do I hear in certain buzzwords used in things that don't even go together? Like I hear certain buzzwords in the Super Bowl, and then I'll be watching a television show and hear the same buzzwords, and then I'll go see a major movie and hear the same buzzwords, and it's like that's because they're trying to program you much deeper than you know. You're thinking, oh, this is just the catchy phrase. Like I say, the buzzword. No, buzzwords are designed to do just that. Make a buzz in your overall frequency, meaning every time you hear that word, it's going to connect you to something. And they're going to always put some type of image, some type of imagery, some type of sound, some type of intention that's behind it, even if it's latent, even if it's put in the back and are telling you something else up front, something on the back end that's just opposite of what it may seem like they're presenting as something good. We live in a bizarro world type of things. As Aleister Crowley said, if you want to understand this world, learn how to walk upside down. Just a little something to get y'all, thinking. But this is the art of thinking out loud.